have a lot of work to actually do. The actual handling of painting cannot achieve. Impossible or improbable painting activities waiting for a technique. My name is Fabian Marcaccio. I'm doing an exhibition that is called Paintants Lab. Painting to me is an activity that sometimes renders into a mural, into an animation, into a panel painting. This exhibition is a little bit my log. It consists of cartoon-like drawings, objects, animations, and computer drawings. So Paintants is actually the idea of the merge of painting and a mutant. So I start actually coming up with this type of hybrid pictorial practice that I do. Since the early 90s, I've been trying to redefine the state or the condition of painting, of complexity, of painting complexity. How I started was actually more in a reinvention, in an expanded field of the language, like the altered new language of painting. It actually evolved a little bit in relation to the technology and the techniques that I've been using. And I will title shows, in order to present these paradigms, the altered genetic of painting, in order to think about what I'm doing to the pictorial elements is as genetics act on organic matter, or, for instance, the idea of using certain softwares to smooth out or to merge material, like grafting material. Or right now, the use of 3D printing in many multiple ways. I alter them, I look for special effects. And to me, they are really important because 3D printing actually create a much more hyperstructural organization of materials. Like never in painting, we could actually control the layers and control form in such a micro manner. It has always been hybrid or expanded painting techniques. What is interesting to me is how I could actually analyze image and make the process itself of altered or mutational painting segregate certain type of provisional image, questioning images. Like, for instance, in my different periods, you can have more prevailing image to seemingly non-image at all. My way of conceiving that is that there is a continuous relation between what could be considered totally non-image oriented work toward something hyper-realistic. We are moving to a more, let's say, like how we see image segregated by natural means, a natural object like a fruit segregate an orange. So to me, painting have the possibility, since it's still physical, to actually analyze this image generation. I like to see the 21st century as the smoothing or the healing of the collage. And to me, the collage is actually function formally, let's say the Duchampian ready-made is the actual, more ultimate, clean collage. So we keep the heterogeneity of the collage, but in new reabsorbed composites. So that's the beyond collage. Within the handling of painting, there have been periods of congruence between the represented and the pictorial in the work of Velázquez, for instance. And there is a crisis in the late Goya, how the pictorial somehow coexists with the projected image. My work is actually trying to reconfigure constantly and by different means that situation. You could see some of my work that are immense that when you get closer, they are all made out of micro abstractions that have nothing to do with the total segregated image. And sometimes it's the opposite. It's something that it looks really almost like a micro-macro situation, or even something that looks like just raw material, unruly, chaotic matter. You get closer and you see a highly organized structure. So I'm trying to recreate new ways to see these type of categories. Painting is actually one of the only really like the pictorial wet knowledge, because it comes from simple mixes of mediums and pounders that are colors, let's say. All the decisions that a painter do have to do in this sort of wet medium. To control that is the whole history of painting. My way of seeing that history is to reconfigure it. The work is almost like a test of this type of complexity, like cutting a flow, controlling a dripping, all kinds of knowledges that are doing other things that apply into painting. I am in this stage that I'm trying to redefine. I call it a hyperstructural stage of painting. I'm making this new series that I call flex paintings. Literally flexible because they are made mostly out of plastics and 3D printing and hand painting, but they are flexible in terms of imaginary. Everything somehow looks like it's in the flux. And I'm interested about digital animation because it could show certain new pictorial behaviors. So I use different software to test these almost pictorial folies that are not as easy to do with other means. I actually think that the 20th century closed with a type of minimalism and post-minimalism and conceptual art somehow create a sort of reduction or turn painting into a study of painting. And I'm trying to create a type of platform for painting that is actually almost like an all-directional, but it's still about practice, not about a study like conceptual art. It's still about thinking, but at the same time it's about making. I hope it's pictorial complexity in the making.